what a delightful time. I frankly loved that dance break. Okay.
So much
Anyway,
fun.
hello everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Mundane Magic with Lisa's here in spirit, but mostly me and Masood and Jess and Josephine. Hello. Why don't we go down the list and just like introduce ourselves super quick, and then we'll get the audience into what we're playing today. Let's start with because Masood is up here on this row with me. We'll start with Masood.
Hi, I'm Sudhak. I'm an actor, comedian, and tabletop role-playing game enthusiast. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Marudboy, MAHRUDBOI. That's it.
Cool.
Wow.
All right. Let's jump right down to Josephine.
Great. You were so good at that intro. Now I'm forever stumbling on intros. Hi, I'm
All
Josephine.
panic. Oh, you were not talking to me.
I am at JCBIM on all socials and Twitch and what else are we supposed to say? I told you I'm not good at these. That's it. You can find out more at those
Our
various
boss
areas.
is not on screen, so say what you want, honestly. Okay. Mixed Jess.
Hi, I am Jess, they, them. You can find me on Twitter at WriteJessR, and you can find me other places. You can try, but it'll be difficult.
What?
My name is different on like every, just
Oh,
slightly
love
different
it.
on like every social media site. So
That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know why.
I didn't mean that like I'm a mysterious.
Yeah, it had a very like threatening atmosphere to it, which I am
Also
here
that.
for, but I just wanted to clarify. That's a threat. And it's like, oh, okay. All right. So welcome everybody to Mundane Magic. Has anyone played it before? Besides me? And
I have.
Yay! Awesome. You're going to be the person who reminds me what the rules are because I've only played it twice and once was play testing. So the rules were different. As you all know, you are one of the fates. Well, you are three of the fates. I guess you're all the fates. You are the amalgamation of fates, like a what's a group of fates called? I guess that you're a coven. Yeah, it's written right here. Okay. That's fine. You are a coven of crones. You're charged with the care of all mortals across all multiverses. And you weave the fabric of reality with the source of your power, which is the mighty Loom of Destiny. Or you would, if one of your fellow crones, definitely not any of you, maybe, hadn't broken it again. But time and space wait for no one, and you have to descend into the realm and interfere with mortals' everyday lives the old fashioned ways, which is just your regular magic and wits. So, we're going to start a game of storytelling. This is a diceless game. Honestly, it could probably even be a little bit GM-less if everybody was willing to be honest with each other, but I already know that you're not, so I'm here.
Wow. Wow.
It's me. It's TK. So, who's ready for some crone creation?
Yes.
Always ready. Always ready.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, there are a couple of things that I'd like for each of you to think about. For ease of me, we're going to go in the order of people in my Zoom, which I rearranged to match the overlay in Twitch. So
I
let's
didn't
think
know
about.
you could do that.
Yeah,
I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
New. It's new. It used to be that you could only do it if you were the host, I think, but now everyone can do it, which is excellent. And it also, if you pin it and you're doing Zoom, then even if somebody turns off their camera, it'll hold it there.
This is not an ad, but just good
Wow.
information.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a heckin' delight. So first, what we're gonna think about, and everybody has your online play document open.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fun FYI for anybody who hasn't purchased Mundane Magic yet, it does come with an online play document, which is awesome, as well as some form fillable stuff. to help facilitate streamed play. We are living in very difficult times right now. So we're going to start with our names. What is your name? Not your true name, but the name that you would like to be called. This is Masood?
Oh, am I
Yeah.
first? Okay.
All of you is fine, but
Okay.
if we want to do this, yeah.
You know what? My name's Andy. I'm Andy the Witch.
You could have chosen anything, and yet you chose the funniest one, and I didn't even know it was going to be the funniest one until
What's
you
wrong?
said it out loud.
What's wrong with my name?
Does anyone need me to enter in their in the play document for them?
Oh, I can do that. I was going to use mine, but I imagine it's probably more cohesive if we all see.
I will need it when it is time for.
Yeah, for sure. Which one would you like to be? Which color?
Oh,
You want to be blue, green, or pink? Oh, who got pink first? Blue or green?
blue.
Blue it is. Player name. We're going to go. Do you prefer Joe or Josephine?
Josephine.
And is it true? Any pronouns?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right. So, Josephine, what's your crone name?
Arabella.
Spell for me.
Arabella. That's me guessing.
I had a pet spider named Arabella. That's so good. And what are Arabella's pronouns?
Let's do they, them.
Okay. What about you? He, him for Andy?
Yes.
Yeah, very nice. Jess, what's your crone's name?
Sophia Foxglove.
What a good name.
Very good name.
These are all good names. These are all equally good, not my favorites names.
Oh, that's a name I want to romance.
Oh, wait, I just saw in the chat all A names. I might have to rethink Sophia Foxglove.
No. It's such a good name.
Aophius Foxglove.
Hey, Sophia. I mean, we'll probably say that often enough.
It's the cake coven. Yes.
The rogue dog in the background. Apologies.
Incredible. So, what? Foxglove the Unyielding. That's incredible. Oh my god.
I came ready.
What a
I don't think I can overstate just how excited I am to be a crone smooching dinos.
Jeez Louise. Okay, so what is your apparent age? Now, crones can be ageless and formless if they so desire, but lacking the loom of fate has some limits, and you may want to limit yourself to a corporeal form. Are you wrinkled with age? Are you forever in your prime? Are you a child? What do you think?
Old enough to marry a dinosaur.
Wow.
Goals
already.
Let's say the dino age of majority is 18 then. How old do you appear?
Andy is, I put it in the thing 65, I guess. Like it just always kind of appears that way wherever he is.
I'm gonna say Arabella is in that sort of ageless, like 20s to mid 30s, like you couldn't say.
Okay. So sorry,
I hope that answers that.
I was gonna type in Galadriel.
Yes, I was gonna say an elf in Lord of the Rings, like that age.
Galadriel years old. And I'm sorry, Jess, I forgot to ask for Sophia Foxglove, the unwielding or the unyielding's pronouns.
Oh, they, them.
Okay. And what a delight. And you said the age of majority, so we're gonna go with, is 18 okay, or would you prefer 21?
Let's go 21.
21. Now you can get drunk, get absolutely blasted at the reception.
Can't wait.
I'd like for each of you to think of one adjective to describe your personality. You could be bubbly, argumentative, snobby, feisty, solemn. Just one adjective. For reference, the adjective I chose was a noun, and it was himbo last time I played. Actually, no, it was pretentious. The first time was himbo. So I want you prepared to be truly unhinged today. In any order as you please. There's only 3 of us. Who cares?
Well, you already said mine, and mine is unhinged.
Oh, unhinged. Incredible. Incredible. Unhinged. Here we go. All right. How about Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding?
Mm,
I'll say the whole name every time.
thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm glad.
I think maybe excitable.
Ooh, that's a good one. And Andy, is it Andy the Crown or Andy the Crone?
Oh, my
with a
bad.
misspelling?
I can't spell.
It's okay. I'm just, that's why I asked.
And his personality is, the adjective is present. He's there.
Is he on 10 or?
He's just, no, he's always there. He's Andy the Crown.
Okay.
He's there.
Oh, Andy.
The attitude is it's the coven, and also Andy is here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now think about
It's mundane magic. That was the inspiration for me.
Thanks for coming to the party, Brad.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was like, what did you bring? Oh, I brought a bag of Funyuns and kind of a flat root beer. Wasn't really sure what everybody thought, but I thought that there should be a caffeine-free option.
Absolutely. Some people got to go to bed, and it's tough, you know.
Okay, I would like for everybody to think about their fatal flaw. Now, your fatal flaw doesn't have to be like a silver bullet or something like that. For here, we're thinking something a little bit more mundane. Do you love Mortal Realm snacks? Can you not resist small animals? Like, what is it about you that like makes you truly forget your mission?
I think anything like new and exciting, Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding is immediately like interested in that instead of what they're supposed to be interested in.
Okay, well, let's narrow it down a little. When you say newer and exciting, do you mean like technology, movies, food, or just like anything that's a distraction?
I guess we'll base it off of my personality a little bit and call it food.
Incredible.
Because food is basically the only thing I care about. Food and dinosaurs.
Incredible. All right. How about Arabella?
I can only think of extra things.
Do it.
Um,
Nothing's stopping you. Live your bliss.
anytime that that they look into darkness or shadow or the color black and clothing, whatever, they start to forget where and when they are because they're lost in a void of all of the time that they have been through and seen. Is that too much? Because
No.
that's everything I thought of had to do with
It's
that.
not too much. I just have the entire song for Paint It Black going through my head now, which is incredible. Obsession with the void. Void. Okay, let's put that in there. I love it. What about Andy?
Andy's fatal flaw is he doesn't floss, and he knows he should, honestly, and he thinks
Jesus.
about it so much. It's on. He's like, I got to. I really should. and he never does it. And like, I don't know if he likes not doing it. Now it's a thing that he thinks about. Does he like having this thing that he can like critique himself on? But yeah.
It's valid.
I'm filled with regret.
Why?
I don't know.
This is the trio. This is phenomenal.
This is us. These are our heroes.
I think my
All
favorite
right.
part of this was the juxtaposition of like obsession with the void to doesn't floss.
I really should, and I don't. And oh man, yeah.
They're very closely related.
You'd actually be surprised.
I would not.
String theory, you know.
Presumably Arabella has trouble flossing too because you have to see the darkness at the back of your mouth, and it's just like a problem and doesn't lead anywhere. So very relatable.
Too much of a hassle sometimes.
You could probably use magic to floss in your sleep had somebody not broken the loom. All right. So each of you has been to the mortal realm before, many, many times over. But your first time that you went to the mortal realm, you brought back a small memento, a mortal memento, a trinket. What was it?
A Twinkie.
I'm sorry? Wait.
A Twinkie.
Is it wrapped?
It is wrapped. I saw it and was excited about a new snack that I'd never tried before, but then started hearing all these rumors about how like they never expire and will like outlive us in the nuclear explosions and stuff. And so I was too intimidated by it to ever eat it, but I keep it with me at all times as a reminder how exciting snacks are.
I just think about how incredible that is because that Twinkie will never age in like the void of the coven.
This Twinkie is eternal. And I even call it the eternal Twinkie.
The eternal Twinkie.
There are probably myths about it in some versions of the multiverse.
In every cave drawing where there is what is assumed to be a UFO, it is in fact the artist's depiction of the eternal Twinkie. All right. Who's next?
I have glitter confetti.
I love it. Is it in a cannon? Is it loose? Is it in a bag?
It's everywhere.
Okay.
Is it impossible to? I opened it once. It was like a package, and it's everywhere and nowhere at once.
Truly the most unhinged of mementos. Andy,
I have my mortal memento here. It's one of the first things I got back from my travel in time. It's my pill container with all the dates sort of labeled out. It makes it very easy to keep track of the order. And then when it's empty, you know to refill it. So.
My laughing
known prop comedy is on my resume. Just a lot of folks don't know me, and I understand. Just letting you know.
Yeah. Incredible.
How often does Andy open his pill container and it's just full of glitter?
More often, every time we time travel, because I guess we break the loom. I mean, not we. Somebody breaks the loom, and folks have to fix it. After that, every time, there's always glitter on the pills.
Do you eat them anyway, or do you?
Oh yeah, I rinse them off. They're all gels, so they're like.
Okay. Okay. I was like, I don't. It's just like it's like having a handful of pixie dust and just running it underwater. Okay.
Surely we cannot be taken down by just glitter, right?
Yeah.
Our bodies don't work like mortals, do they? Don't eat glitter, folks.
Yeah, please God, don't. It does not digest. It will cut you up. It's very metal.
But our bodies are not soft like that.
Yeah, of course not. Your bodies are eternal, much like Sophia Foxglove, the Unwielding's eternal Twinkie. All right, so this is the part where it matters what order we go in. Like I said, I'm going to go in the order that's on the Twitch. So Masood, Jess is to your left. Josephine, Masood is to your left. Jess, Josephine is to your left. You got it? Don't worry, I'm gonna remind you. So we're starting with Masood. What does Jess, the player on your left, what do you owe them and why? What does Andy owe Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding?
Andy owes Sophia Foxglove his sense of taste. Honestly, his palate, salt was exciting for a long, long time. And it wasn't until that Sophia sort of showed him that variety of foods and offerings that were available that, hey, sometimes when he makes grits, he throws a little hot sauce in there, just on the reg.
My
Yeah.
God.
Okay. Josephine,
Mhm.
what does Arabella owe Andy and why?
Oh. I have to think about what Andy would ask for too, and the list is. I think perhaps Arabella owes Andy. Um. mm-mm-mm. A very large spreadsheet that details the entire universe through time, but it's been boiled down into an Excel. If only I could find it.
It's just easier to like handle data that way. It's really simple to import if it's a Excel file versus like a parchment of papyrus. So I appreciate it.
I've been working on it for a long time just for Andy's sake too, because this has been ongoing for millennia. Who knows?
No one, Andy was the only person who asked for it. It's not coming from anyone
No,
up.
no,
Yeah.
no one else needs it.
Yeah.
But we want to answer Andy's needs too.
What a beautiful thing. Sophia, open the eyes of my heart, Lord. What does Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding owe Arabella?
Think because Arabella likes glitter so much, at one point they got their hands on some edible glitter, and Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding immediately ate it. And so now Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding, we haven't returned to a universe that has edible glitter since that happened. So Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding owes Arabella some more edible glitter.
Yeah. It just makes me think of Dave Chappelle. But Lisa's stream is very wholesome, so we're not gonna make that joke. Yeah. Okay, so you owe Arabella some edible glitter. What a delight, truly. We're going to come back to you, Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding, but this time we're going in the other direction. The crone to your right, this one being Andy, has an annoying habit. What is it?
In the show What We Do in the Shadows, there's that one vampire that I think is called like an energy vampire, where he just like talks for a really long time about really boring stuff in a really monotone voice and exhausts everyone around him.
No, yeah.
What an incredible time. I love the idea of Andy teaching the rest of you to do your arcane taxes in spite of living outside of any system that would demand that that sort of economic support from you.
No,
Yes.
you can do it for free yourself. It's actually not hard.
Yeah, I think that's Andy the Crone's annoying habit is that like he knows so much interesting stuff, but never wants to tell us the interesting stuff and only ever tells us about the really obscure, nonsense, boring stuff that we never need
Yeah.
to know for any reason. And
Oh, for
never
sure.
says it in an exciting way.
And he always says something like, now listen, when you go to a multiverse, you'll need it. Excellent. We're gonna pop back up to Arabella. Arabella.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Arabella. Okay.
This
Yes.
would be Sophia.
Arabella. Sophia. Foxglove the Unyielding has an annoying habit. What is it?
I think Sophia always refers to themselves in the third person, and upon entrance, echoes the last part. It's like Sophia, Fia, Fia, Fia.
Incredible.
Every single time they enter any new space.
This is the only fact that brings me joy. Uh,
Sophia the Foxglove the Unyielding, yielding, is excited to play.
She just does her own echo, and everybody has to stop and sit and wait until she's done. Oh my gosh. Andy. Arabella has an annoying habit. What is it?
It's being caught up in the cosmic, infinite, never understanding of the planes of existence that are constantly overlapping with one another and letting it interrupt the things that do matter, like that Excel sheet I need.
Being caught up in a constant existential crisis.
Yes.
All right. So now that we've determined a little bit about your relationships with other people, let's focus on the crunch. Each of you have 5 points that you need to distribute between 3 stats, being minutia, muscle, and moxie. Minutia is like, if this were Dungeons and Dragons, it would be more like your intelligence and wisdom modifiers. Essentially, minutia is how book learned you are, how good you are at magic just in general. Muscle, people who muscle witches are very much like about altering their physical form. They're very much they might have they might be very in tune with nature, or they might be really strong, very dexterous. And moxie, that's all charisma, baby. That's your face of the party. That's the person who's got the skills to seek those thrills conversationally, that is. Think about that. Think about what kind of character you have and how they would allot these points. You can put everything in muscle like I did my first time I played.
If Andy's not all moxie, I'm gonna be upset.
Oh.
Yeah, I wish. I actually think Andy's 100% minutia.
Okay,
like
so yeah,
and like his muscle is just slightly more than his moxie. Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and allot your 5 points. These are important because you will be spending these points in order to do your magic, essentially. Basically, you'll be like, maybe you want to spend 1 point to cast a simple spell, or 2 to like really avoid some chaos. If maybe there's like a chaos token that's like thrown out there, like a a divine or cosmic consequence to you messing around with magic. Maybe you want to be like, I'm gonna spend 2 of these points to get rid of it, like in a magic way. You could do all kinds of like ridiculous stuff, all kinds of things. It's wild. But even if you spend these points to like do really cool stuff, you can get them back by also doing really cool stuff. So if you're like, I want to regain Moxie by, doing like mundane stuff. Uh, non-magical things like I guess I'll do a Google search or something like that. You can do it and you can gain back your points that way. Or you can like do something special or little things that are like narrative and things like that. Think of them similar to like inspiration points. Or if you've ever played like Vampire the Masquerade and things like that, there are similar pools that you can pull from. So think about that. Think about like if you're a strong crone, if you're a smart crone, and if you're a sexy crone. I don't know. I wanted to do the alliteration, and then I was like, it's not working.
I think Sophia Foxglove, the Unyielding ing. It's probably High Moxie because that's how they get all of their snacks every time they go to a new place.
Incredible. What about Andy? I see 4 minutia and 1 muscle. Is that correct?
I think 4 minutia, 1 muscle, 0 moxie. I think that is. Andy will occasionally physically get things done, but more often will explain the way that it has to be.
Okay, go ahead and put it in your maximum as well.
Gotcha.
You could put it in both until you spend some,
cool.
Just so that you always know what your maximum is. What about Arabella?
Arabella will be similar to Andy, but 4 minutia, 1 moxie, 0 muscle. Arabella is essentially a wisp in the wind.
Bless her, my precious child. Oh my goodness, I'm
if they could
so
be
incredibly
glitter,
excited.
It would be glitter if they could.
Oh, this is incredible for me. Just silly string in the wind. I love it. And the last thing that we're really going to think about right now is your focus item. A focus is important because it is essentially going to help you flavor your spells. Now, if you look at your rules, you do see that you have a list of focus items, and for the chat I will read out a few, not what they do, but just ideas of the focus. And you have a green flame candle, crystal balls, raven skull, looking glass, a besom, which people will recognize as a witch's broom, a grimoire, a familiar, or you can make your own and decide how making your own flavors your magic.
Arabella has an obsidian orb.
Ooh, that sounds gorgeous. What do you think about when you think of your obsidian orb?
Well,
besides the void.
Yeah, the void is very much there, present. I must reach into the things that make the universe what it is and pull out a string so that I can weave a small hat to put on the little mortals' flesh vessels. That's part of what I think about.
Incredible.
Because how do their heads stay warm?
Oh yeah, for sure. They aren't made of star stuff and the shadows between the stars. So how can they possibly stay warm in the void of space? Let's go with Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding. What are you thinking?
Oh geez.
Feeling good?
I think Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding Ing has a hook that looks like a hook hand style hook, but really it's the kind of hook that's used to like wrap taffy around when you're stretching it, you know?
Incredible. What would you say is a typical use for your magical taffy hook?
Definitely like if a mortal starts to get on their nerves a little bit, Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding can sort of like hook them and start to like stretch their soul away from their body. Just mess them up a little bit,
Oh,
but in a fun way because wholesome.
oh my God. But in a fun way. Okay.
Also,
Andy?
making magic taffy.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. Yes. Andy?
I'm torn
Yeah.
between and I love you're all saying this, either something that keeps in line or something that is a complete left field.
Masood, if it helps,
Mhm.
I would like for you to think of this as magical prop comedy.
Oh, okay. Then Andy's focus is a lanyard with his ID on it.
Incredible. And what
Just
is
says
this?
Andy the Crone, present.
The crone. Present. Age 65-ish. God. What an incredible. Does he wear like the dad aviator glasses?
No, but there is a string at the back, just in case.
Ugh, just in case. The little rubber. Ugh, incredible. And what would you say that these glasses, the way that these glasses work to focus your magic?
Well, I think with the lanyard, the key card, all of it's like, it's truly the moment he needs information, he just swipes into the air, begins to access that database. It like rolls across his own eyes.
Very cool.
And from that can sort of impart whatever knowledge he needs.
Yeah. I like that a lot. So for the benefit of the chat who may never have played this game before, one soul focus that I have used in the past was the grimoire, and I truly used it for everything. Basically opening it, turning a page to a book, a phone book, pulling out a page, using it as a pH strip to test the pH of a pool, all kinds of absurd stuff. So just think of that as like the way that it can flavor your magic. It can be whatever you want it to be within reason because you do have limited points, but it's going to be a good time. So now it is time for the crunchiest, most dangerous part of this. And that is where I roll a virtual D6 because I don't remember where I put my dice. And that will decide the phases of the moon. Now, the phases of the moon are important because they're going to decide whether or not it is an auspicious time for you to go and fix the timeline. You have to fix it either way, but should you get, say, a 6, which is a full moon, you'll start with 5 spell tokens, which means there are no consequences for going into the past or this other multiverse or anything. Should you get a 1, you start with 2 spell tokens and 3 chaos tokens. That could be very, very saucy. I could lie and say that you get a 6, but where's the fun in that?
Just not a 3. That's
No.
5 chaos tokens.
You got yeah, it's just 5 chaos right off the bat. No, you get a 5. That's 3 spell tokens and 2 chaos tokens. Let me just turn these 2 at the bottom to little chaos tokens. These are important because that means that I can spend them as the GM at any time to just enrich your life. Spell tokens are super, super important because they mean you can do big magic. Big magic, as opposed to your gift points, which let you do a little bit smaller magic. But it is a shared pool, so you better make sure that everybody's okay with it before you spend one, because that spell token, once spent, becomes a chaos token. And then I will spend it and nobody will be happy except me, which is how I like it.
Does it also work that if you spend a chaos token, does it become a spell token? Or is it like once it's used as like, oh, okay, cool.
Ooh.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. So once I spend a chaos token, you can get that spell token back and you can spend it to get rid of the chaos if you so desire.
No, but then you can spend it and it's going to be like Yu-Gi-Oh! And
You're
won't know
right.
the stack.
It's going to be an incredible arms race to a magical mundane finish. All right. So, are there any questions that anyone has before we get into the game? Similarly, is there any like topics or anything? Because we're going to be going through like a very like romantic and matchmaking type storyline. Are there any topics that you just don't want to broach? As a note, I will never include sexual violence or even aggressive flirting in my games. Um, so that's something you're never going to have to worry about. But is there anything else? Also, you're going to a place where there's going to be drinking. There's never going to be roofies. I include that always in like drugging people and stuff. I always include that in violence. Is there anything you're just kind of like, no, no, thank you?
Not for me.
Okay. And just as a fun reminder, I do have physical O cards. You can use N or X anytime in the chat. You shouldn't. This is a game that is very wholesome. I wouldn't say you shouldn't need to, but sometimes people can just kind of like reach a point that they weren't sure that they were okay with. An O is an enthusiastic consent question from me, and that's me asking for physical or verbal consent. So when I have an O with a question mark, I am asking for enthusiastic consent. I'm not asking for okay, because if you give me anything other than enthusiastic consent, I will take that as an N or an X. Um, is that cool with everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So let's get into the nitty gritty. The year is 1864. The place, Victorian London. Dinosaurs roam the earth. But that's normal for this timeline where humans evolved from these prehistoric reptilian giants. Miss Tilly Rex is an eligible young debutante, dinosaur debutante, with a number of dinosaur suitors. And luckily, her parents choose her true dinosaur love, Virgil Raptor, beginning a family tradition of allowing children to arrange their own marriages and pursue their own interests. This carnivorous family tree of modern minded dinos would then produce a number of influential reptiles, including Winston Churchosaurus, who would play a pivotal role in a future world war. But none of that is happening because the last time one of you, I won't say who, broke the Loom of Destiny, chaos magic seeped into Tilly and Virgil's timeline. It's 3 days before the Rex breakfast ball when Tilly's parents will choose her spouse. Virgil is a mannerless velociraptor, clueless about high society, who's only admired Tilly from afar, and Tilly has no idea he exists. This is the situation that you find yourselves in your uh, sort of coven headquarters, existing outside of time and space. Somebody has broken the loom of destiny, but you know that you need to get these events into motion. Otherwise, the consequences could be dire for this multiverse. We alight on the scene of you discussing how you will prepare.
Well, we must go down at once. I don't know who broke it. I'm not going to point any fingers. No one else should point fingers either. You know, that's in the past. I think maybe it's in the future. Either way, we need to go fix this. Tilly, Virgil's not even he's got no game. He's got no chance right now.
That's pretty accurate. Virgil is unappealing at best in his current state, and I feel if you all turn to your packets through page 376, there's a plethora of options that we can impose, and unfortunately, because of we're not naming names, the loom being broken, we need to arrive and can only arrive 72 hours before the engagement, which then limits our options to what can be tied within. This is going to keep going until somebody cuts him off. I think
Sophia Foxglove, the Unyielding, didn't get a copy of this packet, but you can actually see they have the packet in their hand and are like setting fire to it, like while maintaining eye contact with you. But I think, yes, you all make excellent points. What it seems like the best way to go about this would be to go find this Virgil and just, teach him how to romance Tilly.
Oh, yes.
Who in the multiverse is better at romance than the three of us?
Do you want an answer to that question?
I do not.
Okay.
Oh yes, certainly we will weave little Virgil's life towards Tilly. Not a problem. Yes, no, we've done this many times.
And we've been successful every time, as far as anyone else knows.
So, how will you prepare? How are you going to blend in? What are your aliases? Have you thought about an intended plan for this mission?
I think like out of character, I think it feels like we show up, maybe get a lay of some more information, and then like figure out the situation to make a meet cute happen or like something, right?
What kind of dinosaur is Tilly?
T-Rex.
It's a T-Rex.
Oh, Tilly.
And Virgil Raptor.
I think part of the preparation is that Sophia Foxglove the Unyielding just gives Andy a bunch of romance novels because they know that Andy is sort of like the information keeper and is ready to be like, you're going to be the one to recite some of the like romance novel scenes to Virgil to let him know like this is how romance happens.
Thank you for that gift. Yes.
That's part of the preparation for sure.
Oh my gosh, we're going to Cyrano these dinosaurs.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Okay. Have you decided? Oh, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
I think that I will pose as Virgil's aunt, and I can advise that give him much wise advice. I have a lot of wisdom to give. Yeah. But well, yes. They have to make their own choices, but you still want to listen to your elders, right? I'll be an old velociraptor.
Ooh, that's good, and also gives us countenance and perhaps sway. But the issue may be, I've got a great idea. Virgil is a pauper, right? He's mannerless, meek-milled, doesn't really engage. But if his aunt came into town, who was established, who had wealth, and could vouch for Robert at the ball, this might work.
So you're saying we should go in with some sort of backstory about how Arabella is perhaps a country countess or something, and also the aunt of Virgil Raptor.
Yes. He's very distinguished.
Yes.
Perhaps from up north, from a part of family that was long forgot.
Do you think I can have a golden frill, like metallic? Is it too much? Perhaps.
Sophia Foxglove thinks it would be ridiculous to have anything else.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely.
You must have a golden frill.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You must. So, how do you disguise yourselves?
I think Jess, you said you knew exactly what so I don't want to jump ahead, please.
I am going to be a Pachycephalosaurus.
What is that?
That's the one with the like rounded, really, really thick skull that can like bash
Oh.
into things really hard, and it has sort of like around the skull like little spikies.
Let me see if I can find a picture to drop into chat. And what about you, Masood?
I'm gonna be an Anchriornis. It's a small bipedal dinosaur with a triangular skull. And the weird thing about it, it's got 4 feathered limbs. And so I've got I'll put it in, what's it called? I'll find it. I just had a Google image that I really liked, but it's like black and white. So I think Andy's gonna be Arabella's like butler.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of dinosaur did you say?
And is it? I'll pull it up. Anchriornis, ANCH. Let me find it real fast.
Found it.
Yes.
What a delight.
Yeah.
So you are Arabella's butler.
Mhm.
What about, you thinking names? You thinking outfits? What's going on?
Andy is my name. It works no matter where I am. And the outfit is just like a butler uniform that like is incorporated with like the black and white of my feathered limbs, like sort of like, so at the end of my hands, like the white cuffs of the sleeves also go into like the whites of my feathers. And I kind of like, it looks like a cape, but it's really just like my feathers pointing out through the sleeves themselves.
So tiny.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's very, he's made, he weighs 4 ounces.
Oh,
He is
it's like
small
Tweety
bird.
Bird.
He's a very small bird. Yeah.
It's like a parrot. What a delightful time present. Okay. So are we ready to embark? Oh, I'm sorry. I should ask what Sophia looks like too. How are you disguising yourself outfit wise and things like that? Let's do a whole getting ready montage. I'm ready.
So Sophia keeps the name Sophia, but it just changes our last name to Horn. So Sophia Horn, the Pachycephalosaurus. And the way they're dressed is very much like the 1994 Pride and Prejudice miniseries version of Mr. Darcy. Really, any Mr. Darcy, with the maybe even the like 2004 Keira Knightley one, like that billowy white blouse with the like super deep V, the really long like duster coat with the like high waisted trousers.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's like it's like 50 years early.
They're a trendsetter.
Or 50 years late, rather. But yeah.
Everything old is new again.
Yeah, okay.
Sophia is coming here ready to shake things up, because even though no one is gonna know who Sophia is, because they're not claiming like a like, just Arabella is gonna be like the count, and Andy is the count's butler, and also Sophia is there ready to just like make an entrance and be like, and now I'm here, everyone. Now Sophia is here. The party can truly start.
Incredible. I love that. I love that Sophia is like the Victorian cad. It's like the rake character.
Yes, that's exactly right.
All right. So, what does it look like when you all step into this timeline? Basically, you are moving from your otherworldly, your cosmic sanctum into this timeline of Victorian dinosaurs. What does that magic look like? And you don't have to spend a spell token to do it. I am using these. I have set these chaos tokens with the assumption that your spell tokens have been spent to travel.
Could we perhaps have like a hot springs, like time hot springs that we, disintegrate into steam ourselves in order to travel to the right hot spring of time.
You can have so many time traveling hot springs.
I really like that. And it's like you just stand near, like, or maybe even like step through, and then the next thing you know, a like a puff cloud of steam becomes like a fog cloud, and we're like walking out of a fog in whatever time period we're in.
Oh,
Yes.
love it. Love this like transition between you stepping into in your London finery with these dinosaur is this a polymorph? Is it an illusion? Is it an inflatable costume? What is what,
The I think it's like I think it's a polymorph, right? Like
Awesome.
it's
Like
yeah.
okay, so we'll say one chaos token was for polymorph, one chaos token was for stepping through this billowing cloud of steam and stepping out onto this cobblestone road in the early hours of the London morning. And you can smell the pollution because the newly discovered or newly uh, foundational industrial revolution is in high swing, baby. Now we haven't quite gotten to the point where we're with cars and things like that. This is all pre-American Civil War. I don't know what the English equivalent is for the 60s of the 1800s, but you can definitely see horse-drawn carriages. You can see people beginning to sort of cap the gas lamps that line the streets. It is very romantic, this foggy street that you've stepped out into. You can even see a little bit of puff of breath.
I have a question about the horse-drawn carriages. Since it's dinosaur world, what animals are being used?
We will say, because I don't have anything in my notes, humans evolved from dinosaurs, so these like dinosaurs are all human sized. We will say that the horses evolved from more like ape like creatures, so they're giant silverback gorillas.
Thank you. I love it.
People source. Yeah, for sure. We're leaning in hard to the 1990s dinosaur sitcom. So yeah, the horses are all just like giant silverback gorillas.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh, look at that. What color is their fur?
They're called silverbacks, but I believe all over they're probably like a russet red, and then with like a couple streaks of silver. It's now been used. It's probably like silverback is probably like a more regional thing, so you'll see those in like Africa and stuff. But in order to make them more exotic for the hoity-toity of London, they have begun like painting them with like elaborate swirls and colors and things like that.
Well,
yeah.
We must establish ourselves as, well-to-do, important in society so that we can, have influence in this time. Where should we go first in order to do that? Is there like a court we can, insert ourselves into? Perhaps?
I think Andy could probably forge us some documents.
Absolutely. I'll use a gift point to make that happen, of like credibility, establishment, and also maybe I'll even use two to give us funds, to give us like actual, so money will be of no issue as we're engaging whatever fanfare. Really be the genie to this Aladdin situation.
Yeah, tell me what this looks like as you swipe your ID card.
I think Andy walks into an alley, takes out his ID card and waves his hand, and the stone begins to turn into an ATM machine. And he just like puts his his lanyard into the machine, presses like 1,500 buttons when it said pin, presses enter, and then everything sort of prints out of the wall. All the documents we need, all the actually it's just like a portfolio sort of spits out, and then a little like I think 5 no, let's do 3 since it's 3 of us, like 3 large bags of whatever currency is being used right now, if it's like gold coins or if it's
yeah, they spit out like these like very large bills of note, each of them with like a smiling tyrannosaurus on them and like a very like large sort of powdered wig thing. They haven't updated their money in a little while, but they do after every monarch that comes across. This one is it's a little decade, it's about a decade out of date, but it's not, it wouldn't be too noticeable.
These should cover us. I believe they have all. This gives your land titles for a place nearby called Kent. So you are now Arabella, the Countess of Kent.
Make sure Raptor is in the end there.
Oh,
right?
it's implied there. You just
Okay.
and so you came together. Your main money was old money in coal mining, but now with the recent industrial, before just for like actual coal for its benefit, but now with the industrial push, you've been sprung into new money because of the dependency of coal.
Yes.
And you're now trying to get into, it says here, oh, Sophia, I did this for you, confectionery goods.
Love it.
As Andy is describing all of this,
Minutia.
Can Arabella's like Arabella's form starts to sort of like shift to try and fit what they think that description entails. And so like when you mentioned coal mining, there's like a little bit of just like dirt on the edges, on the fringes of the frill.
Oh, yeah.
And it started very old, but then got a little bit rejuvenated with the new money mention. And has some very large jewels hanging, and the frill is forever out. Just to
Yeah,
specify.
absolutely. If you want to spend a moxie point maybe to sort of like cement this illusion and like polymorph and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And just all beads. But Arabella's easily confused. And has been through many identity, one could say. And I think that you've got your sort of traditional ladies wear on bottom for this time period, perhaps. I Josephine don't know the accurate amount, but is there poof at the back? Some poof, perhaps?
I think in the 1860s, first of all, it's dinosaurs. I don't know how well, bustles are very like late 1800s for this, but it's like they're also dinosaurs, so they have tails. So let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and move bustles back to here so that like you don't have a gaping hole out of the back of your chest.
Also probably is okay if it's inaccurate too for Arabella. So some bustles, but then the top half is going to be your buttoned coat, frills, high collar.
Yes.
But
incredible.
Jeweled, covered in pins.
Yes.
Pins, all sorts of awards that they've given themselves.
Ugh. Incredible military mastermind, Arabella.
Yes, it's me.
What about the rest of you? Do you know where you're going to go or what you're going to do? You do know that you have arrived in this timeline 3 days before this enormous ball. You also know, just in general, having studied this timeline, that there are many places in London that you can mingle with high society. It doesn't necessarily have to be a ball or a court. It could be just as easy as dining at the happening place, or just being seen at a theater, perhaps. Um,
Oh.
I
yeah,
think the first thing we need.
going shopping.
So Sophia believes the first thing we must do is rent ourselves a mansion to cement our position as, very, very fancy. And
Perfect.
then we should send someone out to bring Virgil to us,
Mm.
because you would like to meet your nephew and,
Yes.
etc. And then we take him with us to some high society functions.
Mm.
Where
I-
Tilly will certainly be, I assume.
Yes.
Could
So
I pull from the void, perhaps the universe, the exact using? I don't know if this uses gifts. You correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
To pull the exact whereabouts and time schedule that Tilly will be at all times.
I would say this counts as minutia.
Okay.
And you just reach into the orb, or how
Yes, I open it's a sphere, but I somehow open it like it's a purse, and I will reach in and pull out a what is a bundle of it seems like I'm holding a constellation, but it's loose. It's got no structure to it, and then I just shake it and I pop it into just a little schedule timetable, just so Andy can also read it. That describes everywhere that Tilly will be during the next 3 days.
incredible,
Wow.
yes. Yeah, you reach into your void pocketbook up to the elbow, pull out this constellation, and shake out Tilly's social itinerary for the next few days.
Wonderful.
We're gonna say that's gonna cost you one minutia. Finding information is pretty. I'm not gonna say a basic spell, but it's not a costly spell. Yep.
Terrific. This is really well done. Top notch work. I can now see that Tilly will have, there's a debutante luncheon happening tomorrow. So if we spend today with Virgil, we could perhaps stroll and he could be our +1 to the luncheon.
Oh yes, yes.
Perfect. We should find a place to rent and get some help around the mansion, and also convince them to relate to anyone who might ask. They have worked for the Countess for a very long time.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
I
Sort of
think
talk you up a little bit.
Oh, oh.
leave that. You can handle training of staff, but I can find everyone we need to. And takes the key card, and this time just like swipes into the air, and you see his like, now his spectacles are like tiny little like circles that sit on the edge of his like beak nose, and they start running across of just like verifying information and like who's out of work and who needs stuff. And you see he starts from his key card begin like creating a square in front of him, and gets a list, and it says yeah, I find a local mansion. There's a manor that has been despot in town that I believe, oh no, we can definitely afford. And then I like kind of like leave that business to Sophia and
Mhm.
like Annabelle, like sorry, Arabella. And I'll go run down staff and meet you there in a few hours.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead and
Oh.
spend one more minutia to generate all that information.
Absolutely.
Can I spend perhaps a couple more? I don't know, minutia maybe to
Okay.
protrude some little. They look like black bubbles. They're soft, and be gentle with them. But I want them to be. They contain snippets of my entire persona as the countess, and I hand them to Andy so that he can press them into the ears of our
My
staff.
gosh. That is incredible. I would say that that's a little bit more moxie than minutia.
Ooh.
So if you want to, I know you don't. You just use one of your moxie. Would you like to use a spell token?
May I?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest sell, right? Is getting other people on board for sure. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Well, then here, yes, this has the whole persona. Let's make maybe however many. If you need to, if someone you think will not be as involved, you can split the little bubble into two
Mm-hmm.
and distribute as you see fit. But just don't poke them in anything sharp, Andy.
Ah, you know me. The only thing sharp about me are my square edges.
Always so funny.
Leaving.
Okay, so it's essentially like fish eggs is what happens in the
Yeah.
bundle,
Yeah,
plastic
we'll go ahead and spend a spell token to make as many magical fish eggs as you desire, to press into the unsuspecting ears of the London dinosaur social public.
Mhm.
Yes.
What a sentence. Cool. All right. So, would you like to role play out purchasing the mansion and hiring the staff, or would you like to jump till that already having been done? I'm fine with either one.
I would love to, uh, and I don't want to speak for the group, but I personally would like to get like a description of what the mansion looks like as people are like just already like walking around. Like it's sort of like time skip to them just doing their jobs, and we're now like preparing to meet Virgil.
Are y'all cool with that?
Perhaps we can reschedule the luncheon to be at our mansion.
Oh, that could be fun.
Hosts of such an event, perhaps.
I will permit that to have been in the fish eggs, if you would like that.
Yeah.
Good.
Let's do it. Let's host a fucking party. Oh, can I say fuck? Sorry, Lisa.
It's too late. You said it twice now.
That's my two.
That's it. We're PG-13 plus.
We're still
now.
we're PG-13 now. It's fine. Yeah. So the sun comes up, and somehow, in this 24-hour period, you now have 2 days until this debutante ball. In this 24-hour period, there is a mansion on the edge of the pier that has gone from a destitute derelict to the talk of the town. Fresh flowers bursting from every window, beautiful draperies. The sound of construction has long faded after only a day of work. And there are servants in like pressed livery and beautiful like maid clothing, in fresh pressed linens, and each of them just excited to be serving the Count of Kent, the Countess of Kent, who has come here, yeah, to wait on her nephew, who sent a letter to the Raptors to invite Virgil. Oh God.
I think it's zero moxie, just facts, just information. Yeah.
That sounds like something that the unyielding would probably be best at.
Yeah.
Maybe the first draft is written, and it's like, I think this is great, and
Sophia takes it, and it's like,
it's like, thank you. It's just like, thank you so much. Like rips it into a bunch of pieces and just like tosses it out the window.
Oh no, and like puffs it like confetti at Arabella, like, right?
I knew that was gonna happen, and I
yes, isn't that why you gave it to me? Anyway, Sophia's letter was very it was very demanding, but in the very polite way of like high society. So like they did use some of Andy's facts, but also put it like phrased everything in a way that was like, your aunt is in town, you will come this evening to visit, and you will return again tomorrow for this debutante, etc., etc. So it's a very like you are going to do everything we say because we are family.
I'm so excited
See
to
you
get
soon.
this. Yeah, I'm so excited to get this invitation to the church picnic for my auntie.
It's that exact kind of invitation, yes.
It's like, don't forget to bring this dish. It's like, okay. You're just like, am I in town that weekend? I guess I am.
I guess I am.
It's like, don't worry, I already poured sugar into your gas
And-
tank, so you can't leave.
And Virgil better be wearing the outfit that we send over.
Oh,
for him.
yes, the outfit you send over.
Very smart.
Yeah, before you purchased this place, when you went to the realty office, you did see an advertisement, if you're like London, up for the Fossil and Horn Haberdashery, which is a very
Great name.
esteemed shop of men's clothing and accessories. They mostly specialize in tailored suits, extravagant hats. Yeah, they're run by a very a friendly couple of stegosauruses, Clifford and Ernest. Yeah, and you were able to, with your incredible esteem now, like newly founded in this town, you were able to get clothing sized out and delivered to Virgil this morning. So
I would also, I may have you pointed out some things, but I would have also leaned on Sophia to perhaps tell us what might be most intriguing to Tilly.
But yeah, Sophia uses all of their knowledge of like romance novels and also dinosaur fashion to just like pick out the best, most alluring outfits for Virgil.
because you said that,
Oh no.
I'm gonna let you dress him when Virgil sort of like bangs on the door and then waits a few minutes and then kicks it open. And you can see that his scales are like slicked up and back, and he just kind of like swaggers in, coat undone, the buttons down to like halfway down the chest. He's like, "Sup, auntie." What does he look like? What's he wearing?
Jess, this is all you.
I think
Are you,
he
Jess?
has a lot of because it's in vogue right now. Everything that he has on, it has very intricate like embroidery on it. And it's all just like really convoluted and strange shapes. And because he like arrived with this attitude and does not really have fashion sense on his own, arrived in like mismatched top and bottom. But luckily we have clothes here that I can fix for him. But he arrived in very, very like just a super loud outfit. Like his top is maybe like a brilliant red and his pants are bright yellow. He has a matching, much smaller golden collar like his auntie, which doesn't fit with what he has going on here. So of course, as soon as Sophia sees him, they sort of like sweep him along and like, all right, I'm going to fix this for you, and changes the outfit so that it all fits in really well with the gold collar, so that it's a very clear like you are part of this family and you are going to match your auntie and you are going to show your auntie the respect they deserve.
Okay. And you have him there, and he's very like irritated to be like redressed in this way, and he sort of like shrugs himself out of the jacket a little bit, and it's like, okay, and it's hanging off of like his elbows and stuff. It's like, fine, what are we doing?
What is this attitude that you have come into my home with, young sir?
This isn't an attitude, this is just me.
I think Sophia wants to use their taffy soul hook to, so not to change his attitude, like he can still be a big attitude teenager, whatever he has going on, but despite his attitude, he actually adores his auntie. Like maybe doesn't necessarily like tone down his attitude, but still just, and it's one of those things where he like doesn't want anyone to know how cool he thinks his auntie is, but definitely adores Arabella.
I will not use a chaos token here.
Thank you.
Oh goodness.
Go
how many
ahead.
But that
chaos
means it can't
tokens
be.
Go
do
ahead
you
and
know?
go ahead and spend 2 moxie to sort of influence to draw out the sweeter side of um this raptor as his face softens and he sort of regards his auntie with a much more friendly and affectionate air. And I won't make him fall in love with Arabella here because that would be messed up.
Well,
But anyway, he's like, "All right, Auntie, I'm sorry."
oh, that's the Virgil I know. Okay, okay, come here. Let's just search you on that. Okay, are you excited for the luncheon coming up?
No, I never go to those things. They're so boring.
Oh, I know they can be boring, but it's very important for your future and could potentially unlock so much happiness for you. I have this feeling that there's just going to be something very important at this luncheon for you, my dear nephew.
But I have band practice.
But the band practice will still be there. I promise you this. And if not, I will pay everyone involved who needs to shift their schedules. Don't worry, we will make this happen.
How about, since we're making you miss band practice, at some point maybe you could play a song at the luncheon?
Oh, very good idea.
I don't like the way TK is smiling.
What's wrong? I guess I could play a song. What kind of song? I don't even know what they like. They're all rich.
Why don't you play a song from your heart? Something that makes you feel, I don't know. It could have the words, "Death cannot stop true love. All it does is delay it for a while."
First of all, I watched Princess Bride 2 days ago, so
Oh, yeah? I may
take
or may not be looking like 57 best sappy
Yeah.
romantic line quotes because
so
I was given a
take
gift.
1
Yeah.
point of minutia back.
Heck yeah.
Gain that back, buddy.
Uh,
Fucking love that movie.
uh-huh.
Did something special.
Yes. Listen to. Wait, do you have a code name? What's your dinosaur name? Or is it, no? It's still Andy. It's always Andy. Listen
I'm
to
here.
Andy. Andy is here to help you and guide you, as well as Sophia Horn.
Horn.
What?
Horn.
Why'd you say it like a question though?
Oh, you know I am constantly questioning our very existence on this mortal plane. That's not for right now, my dear Virgil. One must always question where we are at any point, and right now we are questioning where you are in your life, and examining every single aspect of that, and it's just part of being your family. And
Now, darling Virgil, why don't you tell us, at this debutante luncheon, are there any dinosaurs that have caught your eye lately?
He goes bright red. No.
Oh, I don't think that's you being honest.
Love is for posers.
Whoever told you that only did so because they had their heart broken. It takes strength to love someone.
yes.
Okay, like I wouldn't say it's like love or anything, but like there's this hot T-Rex.
Okay.
And every time I see her, I just want to like hold her hands with our gloves off.
Oh.
My
Oh.
Virgil.
So such indecent thoughts. Okay. Well, it's wonderful.
I just stay up all night with like thinking about like her claw grasped in my claw.
Kind of like if you're a bird, I'm a bird, right?
What?
Oh no, that one doesn't play. It's cool.
What?
Like, you want to be what she is and where she is and with her. So if she's a bird, you're a bird.
Yeah, and like, I'd even like, if she wanted to eat like one of those tiny sausages off my plate, I'd let her pretend like I didn't notice.
Wow.
Goodness, I can't believe you ever even tried to say that you didn't love anyone.
No, that's not love. That's just like, like lust.
Oh, yes. We
Like,
understand this.
yeah, like I want to like sneak into her house at night and like give her flowers and like
Okay.
cook her breakfast while she's still asleep. Then she wakes up to it, but I'm not there, but like breakfast is. Because I would never invade her boundaries like that.
Right. Would just perhaps away from the sneaking and lean into the privileged social constructions that your family can provide. Via said luncheon, could you give us this dear T-Rex his name and we'll make sure she is there.
It's like totally red again, and it's just like Tilly.
I'm sorry, I could not hear you.
It's Tilly.
You said it at the same decibel level. My ears are actually pretty good.
Tilly.
Did you get that, Andy? I believe it is a Tilly Rex.
Don't
Tilly of the Tilly Rex
Yes.
of the
Auntie,
Rex.
Auntie,
Wow.
be cool, Andy.
Don't worry, I have
Wow.
held many an ungloved hand in my days.
Auntie, I don't want to hear.
Okay, yes, your auntie hasn't lived like anyone else. We'll pretend that's true.
And I think you get it. You're young, Virgil. And when you're young, you'll believe there'll be many people you'll connect with. But later in life, you'll realize it only happens a few times.
Ooh. You don't need to think about that now.
Just maybe before sunset.
But it is important to consider
What?
because this may be your only chance.
I mean,
think about it. Over the next, say, 48 to 72 hours about cementing that idea in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to meet Tilly at the luncheon today. What do you plan to say to her when you meet her?
Oh, you know what? I've thought about this a lot. So and he like jumps up and down to like kind of hype himself up. He's like, hi. That's it. That's all I got.
Oh,
did you say anything?
He said hi.
Hi.
That's certainly.
What do you think?
A start.
Good. No. Oh, okay. There's got to be more. Should I say more? Is that how much more?
Much worse than I thought it was. Sophia,
Andy,
you must help us.
Tell him about the romance.
Oh, it would be my honor. There's so much to say. You can. I think you just gotta lead, bud, with what's in your heart. Just guide yourself and be honest. Honestly, it looks like you're the type of guy who's insecure about his own identity and therefore presents an attitude that is harsh or discomforting to a lot of other people to protect the soft jelly that's inside. And I'm telling you, dude, through time and understanding and self-love and maybe therapy, you'll learn that all you need to love is yourself. And when you bring that to the table, you can do a lot of things. Unfortunately, you do not have the time and luxury of time before the luncheon. So act like you're that.
Is this supposed to be helpful, Auntie?
Yes, so helpful. Wasn't it?
Okay. I think I get it. Fake it till you make it. Is that what you're saying?
That is one interpretation, yes. At least for the next 72 hours, bud.
Cool. Okay, I got it. I know what I'm gonna say.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to her real smooth. I'm gonna do like one of those bows, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear." And I've been working on these lyrics. What do you? Should I go into them or?
Honestly, just save it in the song.
Cool.
But I don't know, Sophia. What do you think?
I think Sophia thinks that this is Sophia thinks that you have a lot of words in your heart that you would like to get out to
In my hands are like so sweaty.
Yes, and
Also so
also
sweaty.
words getting out of your hands. Certainly many words are out of hand at this point in time. Yes, why don't you start with whatever is in your heart and speak that to Tilly and see how it goes, and then readjust accordingly. See how she responds to it. I'm not saying, I think the fake it till you make it is excellent advice. I'm not saying become a different person. I'm saying, present the parts of your personality that you think Tilly would be the most interested in.
Right. She'd be interested in
Well, oh, you'll find out. You'll find out. You'll ask Tilly what she is interested in, and you will make an effort to partake or learn about it.
yeah. 100%. 100%. I'm down. Let's do it.
Just lean into our family
Mhm.
gifts as well. You've got your beautiful gold frill here, and
As I touch it, can it can I instill this magical property where whenever anyone looks into our frills, they see the best versions of themselves, their inner soul?
Mm.
Once again, this feels very Moxie.
Darn.
Oh,
Would you-
magical.
I'm not saying you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I am saying that if you would like to spend a spell token to do it.
Oh my god, I'm the only one. I'm spending them left and right.
We did, yeah. I think that's best. Like
Yeah.
the note, just like to at the very least make him feel more relaxed because he won't have to like, oh, they like me for how I am. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Everyone sees it reflect. It's a family frill thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll
like that.
calm whoever is. Yeah. Okay. I
And
guess we're doing it. We're gonna have 4 chaos tokens.
Not
And
for long,
Everyone
baby.
will see their best inner selves reflected back at them, so it's worth it.
Virgil, you should probably spend the night here. We can tell your folks and send for them as well so they can prepare and rest up.
Cool. Do I have to wear this?
No, silly, you've worn it once. We'll have a new outfit ready for you.
2 outfits.
Yes,
Yes.
this one's just for the luncheon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, do I wear this for my performance at the luncheon?
No, you'll have there'll be an outfit change for your one thing I know is outfit changes.
That's very true. Andy is excellent at organizing costume changes.
Let's
Spreadsheet comes out.
Yeah.
let's do a sweet time skip to the luncheon if you'd like. In that time, if you'd like to do anything mundanely to get back any of your gift points, go ahead, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me what you're doing and which points you'd like to replenish.
I think Sophia just wants to go around and like talk to some of the like servants and stuff around the house to like make sure everything's ready and to sort of like have them help them plot. So like making sure that Virgil is going to be seated next to Tilly and that you know, the like everybody likes um everybody really likes the countess because that was part of the bubble thing, so everyone like respects her and is excited for her to be here, and so
Mhm.
everyone is very willing to help Virgil because they know that that's what the countess wants. So
Right.
as soon as the countess was like, and help my nephew, everyone was like, yes, because we love you. So that's what Sophia spends time doing, is just like talking Virgil up to everyone in the mansion, in the manor, to make sure that everyone is in on this.
Very cool. Okay, go ahead and all. If you want to spend this last spell token for all of you to do mundane stuff and get back some gift points, that's fine.
I would like to brush my teeth so that I can perhaps regain some moxie.
What an incredible desire for you. I love it, and I will support you in every way I can.
Do you maintain eye contact with Andy as you do it?
Oh no, I it's Andy's getting everything ready and like putting it together, the recipe list, and like getting the cooks in order and doing all that
but
stuff.
I'm following
Incredible.
you.
And I was gonna say like I pass, yeah, and the moment I see it, everything drops. Honestly, I've been putting it off for too long. Pulls out a thing of floss, gets ready, and someone taps on his shoulder because they ran out of cream cheese one day, and like wraps it back. Yeah.
Time.
I don't think it would have
Is
worked. I
there-
think he just has a beak. I don't think he can floss.
Yeah, no, but yeah, he's got little tiny arms.
Just like he just goes back and forth. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Just checking in with everybody. Do we need to do any bio breaks or anything?
I do. I drink too much tea.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Before we go to luncheon, let's go ahead and take like 5 to 10 minutes.
Cool.
Cool.
Very cool. We'll see everybody in the chat in about 5 to 10 minutes. Go
See y'all
stretch,
soon.
drink some water. Hello, everybody. Yay.
Hey.
I'm not good at countdowns, but I am good at making people suffer. So let's go ahead and jump into this luncheon. We're gonna run a very quick scene and then jump into a fancy debutante ball as well. So this debutante luncheon is one that is being hosted in which room of the manor are you hosting this debutante luncheon in?
Or the luncheon room.
Naturally.
Yeah, TK, why would you even ask that? Obviously,
not the
luncheon room.
private dining room or like the breakfast nook. This is it's a luncheon. It takes place in the luncheon room.
Yes, it doubles as a spa, but luncheons.
My entire existence is suffering. All right, so the group of you have adjourned to the luncheon room, and it is filled with about 10 to 15 young socialites who are there with their chaperones. Among them are a couple of ones, Sadie Ceratops, a young triceratops, herbivorous, herbivorous. I don't know. And as well, Temple Pterosaur, very soft-spoken young flying dinosaur. And they are milling about Tilly, attempting to kind of garner her attention. Where is Virgil?
Where is Virgil?
Probably being literally pushed around by Sophia.
Yes, I'm going to take a space just in the room that everyone can see, but that is just kind of perhaps atop a nice chair with a fan overlooking everything, but not partaking at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I trust Andy and Sophia to be able to guide Virgil.
Yeah, absolutely. Virgil has changed into a new outfit, his performance attire. Andy, you want to go ahead and tell me what that looks like?
His performance attire is exquisite. I think going with the gold trim alongside his collar, he's wearing a black suit that's like real, like midnight black. To counteract it with some solid gold cufflinks as well, and ultimately a night sky bow tie that sits atop of his rufflage or like whatever his cravat would be of the time.
Yeah, his sort of jabot.
Yes, yeah. That is looking like the night sky, mixing with that gold and black of his sort of outfit.
All right. And yeah, he is being sort of shuffled and chaperoned among the dinosaurs by, I assume, Sophia Horn, the unyielding. And it is not until everybody sits down. You are in charge of the seating. Where would you like to sit? I am going to go ahead and spend a chaos token that I will resolve when it comes up.
I think Andy would have liked to have spent a gift, like at least one like some sort of plan to have Tilly and Virgil end up together. Like they like whatever sort of pairing, whatever is sort of happening. It just happened to be the case that these two are the only interesting individuals at their table.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about the rest of you?
I would like to make sure that whenever someone is about to approach Tilly, I would like to produce some foul-smelling odors right before them to sort of attempt to reroute them elsewhere. And so I would just watch from afar and try to.
Yeah, you absolutely see Sadie Ceratops sort of come over waving a fan of sort of palm fronds with some delicately painted tips, and she'll, ooh. And then after a moment, she'll, ooh. Pardon me, Tilly, and then scurry away. Sophia, you are the person that Temple begins to scoot his chair towards, and he just sort of drapes himself across the table and hello, I haven't seen you around these parts.
Oh, darling, I came to with my good friend, Countess Arabella, to visit her nephew.
Would you perhaps like to take part in some of these candied horns? And slips a few candies onto your delicate dessert plate. It would appear that he is quite smitten with you.
Darling Sophia would love those candy horns.
Yeah, absolutely. He spends a great amount of time around you, and after a few minutes, he like starts to scoot his chair even closer and like gently like rests his head on your shoulder, like.
Sophia absolutely lets him, and probably like
Incredible.
while he's resting his head on Sophia's shoulder, also occasionally will like reach into the bag where he's keeping his candy and just like grab more.
Yeah. Use this young man for his candy.
And also him, he's great. He brought candy to a luncheon, and that's what he used to seduce someone. This man was made for me.
Yeah, but as you are sneaking these candies out of his pocket, you do hear the clatter of dishes against the floor. How dare you! You see that Tilly is pulling her ungloved claw away from Virgil's hand.
Oh my. What's happening here?
And after a couple of moments, you hear the sound of a resounding slap. And Tilly gathers up her skirts and runs out of the luncheon.
Oh, no. I must go after to be a good host and inquire on... Tilly, my dear. Hello, Countess here. What has happened?
That animal touched my ungloved claw. Can you imagine my shame and the day of my debutante ball?
I'm so sorry that happened.
How can I expect to show my face in front of polite society, sullied the way that I am?
Oh, no. I guarantee you there is so much more to you than just your ungloved hand, my dear. This is not the end of the road. I think perhaps it was a misguided
She bursts into ugly crying.
Of affection. Oh, no. This won't do it all. I feel a little bit conflicted, but I'm wondering, is there any way that we could erase this experience from plaguing her mind?
I demand a duel to the death tonight at the ball.
Ooh. It's okay, we can do this. I agree. A duel to the death between whomst?
Between me and that animal.
Oh. You would like to duel to the death, but you're the one that has been wronged here. That does not make sense.
I have resolved 2 more chaos tokens.
Why would your life be at risk? And I whisper into the fates of time to my compatriots. Andy, Sophia, I need your help.
You see,
her eyes are glowing red, and she's like, I demand satisfaction.
Andy's currently at the edge of the luncheon room, making sure, like, oh no, a series of tables have fell, and now no one can see where the Countess and Tilly have gone. Just like truly keeping the bubble of the conversation.
Sophia sweeps into the room where the Countess and Tilly are speaking. And Sophia Horn is here, darling. Whatever can I do for you?
Unfortunately, dear Tilly has been besmirched by our dear Virgil. An ungloved hand may or may not have been touched, and she is now requesting a duel to the death between them.
A duel to the death! Oh, goodness. When was the last time you heard about one of those? Well...
Not often enough, truly.
Oh, truly, Countess. Well, while I think it is completely reasonable to ask for a duel to the death, I think that is... wouldn't something like that be an even further, negative mark against you in society? This is a very, tedious and sort of process that people will remember for a very long time. How about instead of to the death, how about if we bring Virgil out here and instead of killing him, you simply beat him up a little bit? Would that be satisfying?
Is a public humiliation of sorts. Time will tell.
Because I do agree that he has wronged you and he should be punished for it.
Then I insist on demanding my satisfaction at the ball itself, so that all of polite society can see him for the monster he is.
Oh, well, but I think, dinosaurs misunderstand each other all the time. I, as the Countess and one of the biggest funders of this ball, and I sort of like try to find Andy's eye contact and wink to hopefully get that paperwork that into the story, would only request, Miss Rex, that you use this to settle the score, but then that you should engage in civil conversation in attempting to communicate with Virgil as to what went wrong. Communication is always key, my dear.
And darling, to be clear, we're not trying to lessen how upset you are. The thing is that we are all from the north, Kent. The north. And things are very different in the north.
Yes.
Ungloved handholding is actually quite common there. It is not seen as as something as scandalous as it is here. Children hold each other's hands ungloved.
And at brunchin'?
And at brunchin' at all time of day and night. Well, not night, because they're sleeping, of course.
In
but
front of the salads?
Yes, right in front of the salads, even. And so I believe that because our family is from the north, where things are a little bit different, that's why we wanted to resolve this. This is the family's issue of we were not prepared to come here to the city. We were not aware of just how different things are here, the expectations. We thought would be more similar to our experiences in the north. So we hope you understand that our Virgil, he didn't mean to besmirch your honor. He didn't mean to offend you. He simply misunderstood. I think that he saw you as, he felt that you were a dear friend to him. And so as friends would in the north, he tried to hold your hand.
Oh, a friend. Of course, that's fine. I'll accept his apology tonight then.
And he will be glad to apologize. And we will make sure that this does not happen again.
See that you do.
Thank you for your understanding, Miss Rex. You are very kind.
As you can imagine, this emotion has taken much out of me. I must rest before the ball. And she sort of like...
Right this way. Mandy pops around the corner. He's been there the entire time. Yes, we'll take you this way, Tilly.
God, so helpful.
Truly.
Yeah. So she takes her leave to rest.
And
Ooh.
I would like to spend some time before the dance then tonight, and I would like to have a montage where Andy trains Virgil to be a gentleman.
I love this montage. You will now have 4 spell tokens and 1 chaos token. Spend what you like.
I would love to, yeah, if that's okay with y'all, I'd love to use a spell token on this. And
Absolutely.
yeah, just like
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord.
right, just a deep download. I think it the way it looks is like, Virgil, if you would wait for me in the day room for a moment.
Yeah, I messed up real bad, man. I messed up real bad. Her hand was just like there because she like pulled her glove off to scratch an itch, and it was just like there, and it was like calling to me, man.
Self-restraint, and I'm going to smack his hand with my fan. Self-restraint. That is going to be focus on self-restraint. And
his eyes well up with tears.
We will do our best. And I shove him into the room, close the door, and wave my hand over the keyhole. So now it shifts to a key card slot.
Okay.
Put my lanyard in, take it out, move the handle, and then shut it. And you hear electronic locks whirring and locking into place. And all sorts of sounds over the next 4 hours emerging from this space. All sorts of sounds.
Because locking the door is part of your training with him, I won't have you spend a muscle. It'll just be a spell token.
I'll use my 1 muscle. I'll do it. I will force this action. I will
do it then, coward.
As the book says, make a foe go away. Bad Virgil is gone. Yes. Yeah, and then what do you all see when the door opens and Andy comes out and says, introducing Virgil of Kent?
Yeah, that's a good question. Arabella, what does the new Virgil look like?
Well, I certainly hope that his eyes do not wander. There's a sheer focus instilled within Virgil, and you can see the heart eyes almost outlined with Tilly in clear view within them, and only with utmost respect. It's looking into her eyes, trying to get to know and look past the eyes into the mind headspace of Tilly and what may reside there. And all of that is reflected within Virgil's eyes. And so there is a sparkle that is unquestionable, and it's alluring. Oh, look at that sparkle. Someone who looks and sees me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's Virgil standing there in a white velvet suit with a bright red jabot and gold trim around the edges and seams. He has a
velvet, and I'm glad
big, tall top hat, taller than any top hat you've seen in decades, smokestack even, white velvet, gold on top. It's got rhinestones around the rim, baby.
Yes. Naturally, that sounds like everything that I described. I love it. You are a changed dinosaur, my dear Virgil. Andy, your work is impeccable, so impressive. Time after time after time after time after time, you are invaluable to us.
Thank you so much. It's a process, and really where it starts with is like everything, getting 8 hours of sleep at night. You wake up feeling refreshed. If possible, find a window that is facing sunlight and just open it and stare at the sun for like 3 minutes. 180 seconds is really all it takes to set yourself
Yeah.
While Andy is doing this,
Yeah.
Sophia has already come in and like swept Virgil away.
Yeah. Virgil looks at Sophia and says, "Thank you, Sophia. This was very helpful. I just spent a chaos token.
Oh no.
I really appreciate
Oh,
the
no.
lengths that you all are going to make me a more proper and romantic dinosaur."
Uh
Did I do too good of a job?
yeah,
Oh,
yes, Andy, you know,
Did you?
Sophia Horn always appreciates the work that you do, but in this case, Sophia Horn believes that perhaps you have worked a little bit too hard. It's fine. We have a solution, and I would like to spend, I guess, a moxie to use my taffy soul hook again on poor Virgil, just to like loosen up that energy vampire vibe a little bit. So, like, not forgetting any of what Andy taught him, but just like stretch out his soul just a tiny little bit back
Yeah.
to what it was.
So
before.
massage it a little.
Yes,
It
could
actually-
you just confirm that there is still a soul within there? Because I feel that Andy may have consumed part of this.
I really like this move because one of the of the things that you can do to like regenerate spell, like using spell tokens to regenerate gift points, like number 4 is like Moxie can be used to avoid double the chaos tokens. So one Moxie avoids two chaos tokens. So you could like use your Moxie like
Oh.
in this exact way to like prevent this chaos from happening.
Nailed it.
I
Close one.
don't appreciate it. That is okay. So you'll be using 2 moxie to fix what Andy has done.
No, I think just one moxie, and that cancels out 2 chaos tokens.
Mhm.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
I think
Is
so.
that right? Let me.
It feels
As
weird, but yeah,
Per the
that's
rules.
what it says in the book.
Yeah.
Correct. Lisa says the voice of God says yes. Then you can use one of your moxie to cancel out 2 chaos tokens.
Heck yeah.
You have 5 spell tokens.
Perfect.
Oh, good. How much time has passed?
Oh, it's sunset. Your
Time to
carriage
go.
waits.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the most fabulous carriage, I assume, in existence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's incredible, decked out. It's entirely gilded, with like this shiny black wood. And as you open up the door, you see it is in fact a stretch carriage. It's got
Oh.
little shots for champagne. It's got a little ice bucket in there. It's very delightful.
Oh, yes. And let us send an extravagant amount of Tilly's favorite flowers and a carriage to pick her up as well.
Yeah,
On
absolutely.
us.
The ball is at her house,
Oh.
which you would know.
Yes.
Do you still do it?
I will the flowers certainly, and then I would like to deliver a carpet, a glittering red carpet that unfurls as she descends from the steps above.
Absolutely. I will let you spend a moxie to do that.
It's very similar to a carriage, so
It's incredible. All right. So, my loves, the carriage rides through the town. Do you all ride together?
yes, we have
In
to
the
make
stretch
sure.
carriage? Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, almost all of the carriages in this area are stretch carriages anyway, because
Mm.
the dinosaurs are so big and they have tails. But yes, the stretch carriage sort of like leisurely rides through the town with the twin like white gorillas galloping in front of it. Yeah, the coachman is a slender pterosaur, a flying dinosaur that gently coaxes the gorillas by holding sticks of termite in front of it, because whipping horses is cruel and horrible. Um Yeah, absolutely. The town has like unfolded before you. There doesn't seem to be a lot of traffic. Everybody seems to be going to this ball, but by luck of the universe, you arrive ahead of almost everyone else. And you can see that there are a line of footmen that have begun to line up along the carriages to help everybody out. Who steps out of the carriage first? Did you
Oh,
change your outfits for the ball? Hell
Absolutely.
yeah. So the order that you step out of the carriage, you can describe what you're wearing.
Andy pops out exact same tuxedo, but it is different because it's spotless. That's it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hat.
No.
Okay. Who's next?
I think probably
I
Virgil comes out next because I think like the men would get out and help everyone else out.
Oh
And
yeah.
also because Sophia is ready to just like get Virgil to go apologize. So
Yes.
Sophia's immediately like, get over this
Yes.
carriage.
Yeah, Virgil doesn't trip out of the carriage though he normally would. He has a nice polished cane with a silver raptor's head on top of it, and he steps out of the carriage and sets his cap on and sort of like silently like nods toward everyone.
Is it the equivalent of us having a cane with like a human head at the top?
Yeah, it is. But I couldn't think of what would
I
be like
love
a
it.
cool animal in a world ruled by dinosaurs. Like, what's cooler than dinosaurs? And it was
Fair.
like, if I put a T-Rex head on top, then it's like, ugh, you know?
No, but if I showed up with a cane with an actual human skull, like I don't that's a
Yeah.
talking point, right?
Yeah.
Like
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, you're the belle of the
Sure.
ball now. I dropped
Um,
the sauce
I,
on my shirt. Sorry.
I
Sorry.
would like to exit in tandem, perhaps with Sophia, so we can overlook
Mhm.
Virgil's every move and step. Um,
I will wear exactly what Virgil is wearing, but in red velvet and gold.
I love it. Yes. And it just so happens that this debutante ball is on Valentine's Day. So there are many young dinosaurs looking to make their mark and perhaps catch the eye of a suitor.
mm,
Um very much so. So the group of you are ushered in through these large double doors, and you can see this beautiful crystal chandeliers all in rows that have cascaded like these gorgeous rainbow colors onto the polished marble floor of this enormous ballroom, which is setting as a sort of annex building to the rest of the manor. And you can see that people have already begun sort of introducing themselves and dancing and touching, like messing with little hors d'oeuvres, some little appetizers. But you do see that there seems to be this area of the place that is sort of maybe closed off a little bit. You can see all of these dinosaurs that you would typically consider more carnivorous to be all together, and all of the dinosaurs that are more herb, herb herbivorous
herbivorous, yes.
all together as well. And they do seem to be on opposite sides of the ballroom.
It seems odd. Is this natural for the what is this? Andy, what do the books say?
Uh uh I think Andy's at loss because he didn't organize this party, so he's not
Oh.
really like if he's the one who's always in charge of these situations, so like knows all the details. The moment it's one other person's perspective on it, and I think he's gonna. I think he wants to spend a minutia, like a minutia point, like at a panic to just like properly assess everything. Like he needs to become super knowledgeable really quick.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
and like he just kind of rubs his hand over the lanyard and adjusts his glasses, and says, "Oh, certainly, my countess." Um,
Yeah,
what is? Yeah.
when you swipe your lanyard, you can see like it opens up a sort of page in a history book sort of thing, uh basically telling you that relations between herbivores and carnivores have not been great lately,
Mhm.
especially because carnivores are the ruling class.
Mhm.
Ugh.
There seems to be some disagreement of power based on diet, and unfortunately in this setting there is a contingency of contentious herbivores.
Yeah.
Is
Even
this
as you see the spread laid out for all the for all the hors d'oeuvres and stuff, it's all meat.
Oh.
ooh,
Oh.
ooh. Is this paramount to maintaining history that there be this dichotomy in the food structure and class?
I think it might have been an after effect of our meddlings. The butterfly wings of temporal change are innumerable.
Can I
Um,
use a spell token to make everyone an herbivore?
that's
I
that's.
A
Can they
spell.
use 2 spell tokens to do that? I'd be willing to. I don't, how
Yeah,
many?
I'll take. I will take 3 spell tokens
what
to
if
make
instead of making
everyone an
everyone an
herbivore.
herbivore, we just change the food spread?
So yeah, that's yeah.
Don't you think they'll still give each other shit? And really, it's a distraction. We've take the well. I see you're concerned about your food options, but we won't be here very long.
Well, concerned about food options, but also concerned about the implications to the future of us making everyone an herbivore, as opposed to solving the issue of the contentions between the herbivores and carnivores. Um,
Oh,
because also we don't know what impact that might have on the future um,
oh.
for example, Winston Churchosaurus or whatever his name was.
Mhm.
That's not my department. That's Andy. Names.
Mm.
Actually, well, that's actually true because if suddenly there were only herbivores, then they might have something different to distinguish themselves about. Perhaps the feathered dinosaurs versus the non-feathered, size versus those who
Mm.
aren't so big.
Oh, you're right.
So
Right.
Sophia wants to use her taffy hook to like pull at the buffet table and change some like half of the food into herbivore options.
Okay, I'll let you do that for a spell token.
Well, and then what if the other spell token is just invading the mind space of the head carnivores of this soiree into being more tolerable and open-minded?
Yeah,
I yeah.
I'll Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I love that, and like I think Andy can jump on this and be like, in a different reality, there's a social theory of change studied by a university called the Pal Al phenomenon. Let's say you meet someone named Al, and the both of you happen to be beekeepers. Beekeepers? I don't know. It's crazy. I get it. But the two of you are beekeepers, and later you find out that Al is a cannibal. Whoa. You now know someone who's a cannibal that contradicts what you've personally thought about cannibals before this moment, leading to a greater theory of change, not only about cannibals, but other social groups as well. Could they all have an herbivorous pal Al? Like a
Yes, that.
For
like a
example,
mental image. Yeah.
Did you just compare
for
being
example,
I've never seen anybody compare being a vegan to being a cannibal.
To Andy, who does not actually consume anything, being a witch beyond sustenance, I think it's all the same, right? Like it's like, oh, that's a weird thing that people eat, right? Herbivore, What's the exact opposite of a vegetarian? A
Yeah.
cannibal. Perfect.
I presume that Sophia is the only one that can. That is where all our stomachs lay.
Yes.
Within
Yeah.
Sophia's essence.
Oh yeah.
And
That
Sophia
explains
also
a lot.
like tries to like step in front of Andy as he's speaking and says, for example, the Countess and I are excellent friends. We go way back. And as you know, Countess Sophia is a velociraptor, and I myself am an herbivorous dinosaur, the Pachycephalosaurus. We are dear darling friends with very different
Okay.
diets, and that has never been an issue for us.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, for a spell token, the group of you start a conversation about tolerance. Um, Victorian era dinosaurs.
Somebody had to really.
yeah, it was-
Somebody did.
It was a conversation that sorely needed to be had. Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that the group of vegans in the corner start to kind of mingle out into the group a little bit.
Good.
So
Where is Virgil?
Virgil has been standing on the exact opposite side of the room of Tilly at all times, sort of like not moving and like looking at her or anything, just sort of like observing and trying to work up the nerve to apologize. And you could see him sweating buckets in the corner.
Let's go pep talk our dear Virgil and get him going for the evening, shall we?
Yes.
Okay, you go over to Virgil and say, Virgil, my dear, you're going to first, we've made a deal. You will need to let Tilly beat you up publicly. You will do this because this is a deal that we have made, and you're a gentleman, and you will uphold this deal. And then, as an upstanding gentleman, you will compose yourself, which is a oh my gosh, a skill that will be very well seen if you can just bring yourself back to gentlemanly state after being beat to shit. So just this is your schedule for the evening, and then you will woo Tilly like no one has ever been wooed before.
Of course.
But first, you will apologize to her. Apologize to her, and then let her beat you up.
Yes.
And then, if you feel it's necessary, apologize again.
Of course. Thank you, beloved aunt. Do you have any pointers for wooing Tilly, or should I merely let her break my face and then allow her to do the wooing?
Well, I think we should all have a word of wisdom, right, Andy?
I have my last bit of advice for you, young Virgil. Look
I'm
into Tilly's eyes and say, I don't know if we have a destiny or if we're all just floating around accidental, like on a breeze. I think maybe it's both. Maybe both is happening at the same time, but I miss you. Insert name here. If there's anything you need, I won't be far away. And then you walk away. They will engage in conversation afterwards if they are interested. That's your best bet, bud.
Can anyone top that, or?
Oh, there's no topping that. As everything, it's about taking bits and pieces and making it into the perfect little love sandwich. Sophia, any last words of advice?
Be yourself, but do keep in mind the conventions of polite society. I understand that you wanted to hold her ungloved hand, but you know that that is inappropriate. Andy spent much time teaching you everything that you need to know. Keep all of that in mind and use that to present the best version of yourself.
Of course. Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
yes.
Question. Should she knock me unconscious, whose responsibility is it to woo whom?
You will be wooing, my dear. Don't worry. And consciousness, it's a fine line that we will disregard and fix very quickly. So you don't worry about that. Just do not look into the void, my dear. Don't, if you do go into the darkness, make sure that you swim your little way out. You else you could smell the soul of Tilly to lead you to the exit. But do not get charmed by the whispers of the darkness. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Cool,
And
cool.
you can say she knocked you off your feet. That's a funny anecdote.
It's exactly what I said.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
it'll. Yeah.
in every situation, you are doing the wooing, but once you have made your apology and let her beat you up, you wait for her to talk to you
Apology.
again.
Beat up. Wait for her to talk to me. Right.
So yes, do the speech.
When do I do the speech where I walk away?
That's after being beat up, because you
After
have to let her beat
before
you up.
she finds me to woo me.
You will woo her.
I will woo her,
but
of course.
not until she speaks to you first. Because
Right.
I use 2 minutia gift points to create an itinerary of these moments with improvisational pivots, like a flow chart, and I
Yeah.
impart that into
Yeah.
Virgil's mind. Yeah.
I will say that the way it manifests is ink written on the inside of his arm.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, he just like he'll open up his jacket. There's all the information. Okay, all right. Apology. Beat up. Speech. Walk away. She approaches me. I woo.
And of course, if somehow your apology is so wonderful that she decides not to beat you up, make sure you thank her for that.
Oh, thank her for not
yes.
beating me up. Okay,
Mhm.
let me just.
Unknown.
I'll scribble in an addendum.
Mhm.
1A. Apologize good.
Andy
No
starts
get shit
weeping
kicked.
at the wordage 1A. Andy weeps.
It's just a single like Denzel Washington tear.
Excuse me. And he leaves.
It's just like just walks out of the room.
And
Yeah.
a final gift I will give Virgil a small vial of glitter so that it may follow and glisten all around him wherever he may go.
Oh, incredible. He pops it open and highlights his cheekbones with it.
Lovely.
And like just a
lovely.
little bit down the bridge and just above the cupid's bow, even though he doesn't have lips because he's a velociraptor. Yeah. He looks incredible. Thank you so much, beloved aunt. He pockets. He's like, wish me luck. Oh, and takes off his hat so that one of you can hold it for him.
Oh, I will put it on top of my hat.
Incredible. And he just and like holds himself up and like walks over. You can see from across the room that he begins to speak to her. Would you like to listen in?
Yes.
Would you like to get closer or would you like to use magic?
Oh, magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um.
Oh, I was gonna say, can I read lips? Can I use my magic to read their lips and sort of then convey everything they're saying?
They're dinosaur mouths.
The dinosaur mouths, yeah.
Yeah, I could also reach into the void as well. If we are together,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps have a little 3 black globules of earpieces within our ears, and then reach through the void to place a listening shadow, perhaps near them.
Yeah.
That we can.
Yeah, and if y'all
reach
want to
through.
use your magic to wombo combo as well, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes.
So you essentially turn their shadows into spies for
Yes.
you to relay this apology. And I'll go ahead and say that you can give advice to him via these shadows as well, if you like, because he begins his speech, his apology to her as, okay, hear me out.
No, darling. Start with just how sorry you are.
I am truly incredibly sorry that I saw your ungloved hand and acted in honestly
An uncouth manner.
an uncouth manner, assuming that you would perhaps interpret the longing in my soul as permission to touch you without your permission.
And you won't do that again. You won't touch her without permission.
I will never touch you without permission again for as long as I live, however short that may be after you righteously pummel me in front of these people.
You now have my permission to punch my face.
You now have my permission, not that you need it, to punch me in the face.
And I hope that you can hear the sincerity of my apology and know that I will never do anything like this again.
And I hope that you could hear and you hear it cut off as Tilly's evolved T-Rex arm careens into his face, and I resolve a chaos token to make Tilly buff as fuck.
Yeah.
And she just begins to wail on him.
Oof.
We watch.
Yeah.
From a distance.
How long do you watch?
Until she's done.
She does not stop until she's stopped.
We certainly do not want Virgil to die in this moment. Right. So if death is imminent, then definitely I will animate said shadows to intervene and hold Tilly's own body back.
Tilly, you can see that Tilly's eyes are beginning to glow like this red, this sort of strange magical red, as well as several of the other carnivores in the ball.
Oh, upon
if
noticing
everyone had been an herbivore, this would not be an issue.
I resolve the last spell token.
Yes, next time you want to change the so much of the whole group of whatever, we'd have to fix this.
The debutante ball has now become a debutante brawl.
Oh.
Well,
you can't fire me. I don't work here.
Would it be possible to use maybe a couple of spell tokens for just a really intense taffy soul hook pull?
Yeah, you've got 5 spell tokens.
Yeah, I like this.
As all these carnivores begin to punch the herbivores and each other.
Maybe would it be like 2 or 3 spell tokens to like get everyone to calm down suddenly and just sort of be like, oh, we've all gotten out of hand.
How will you do that with your taffy hook?
I think normally when they're going for just like one person, they can like hook sort of at one person. But since they're aiming for the whole room, they just sort of like take their hook and aim it just sort of towards the center of the room and yank. Almost like they're yanking like puppet strings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Catch their souls. Yes.
Yeah, you begin to
in the process.
Yeah, help.
Because I'd love to
and spell tokens help.
Yeah, put my hand also on the hook and like pull, but like suffuse it with the knowledge of diplomacy and like the idea of like actually like for civil society for us to be presenting it, to forget our like better ways to try to like call that into effect.
Yeah. Absolutely. You begin to pull them. Did you have anything, Arabella, as well to assist?
Oh, I think it would cause more trouble than good. I will just watch. Perhaps I'm in a daze because I've just lost myself looking a moment too long into the darkness.
Yeah, Sophia Horn. And you're welcome. And Andy, you begin to pull and massage these these carnivorous souls with the spirit of diplomacy, the soul of polite society, and this fist fight now begins to morph as I spend those chaos tokens into a dance battle.
Acceptable.
It's
Very
incredible. Tilly is an amazing bee girl.
How's Virgil doing now that he's not being beat up anymore?
Yeah.
Virgil is partially unconscious, but his band has set up a screamo soundtrack to the dance battle, and as Tilly pirouettes into battle, you could just hear the in the background. It's great.
Virgil. Okay,
Going
I
good.
will. I will. So I'll swim through the darkness fog that I am in to my dear Virgil. Say, Virgil, this is very important. You must reach within yourself and drop the dankest beats that you can, so that Tilly is the supreme dance queen in this room. This is very important.
Auntie, it hurts really badly.
I know it hurts now.
I think she's really mad at me.
Yes, but
What if we never get to hold hands?
I guarantee you it will be in your future. It has to be. It has to be. And so you must go and ensure that everyone else has horrible beat. The rhythm changes every moment that they try to catch up. But for Tilly, it is supreme.
Okay.
Do you understand? And wait, I'm going to. Can I reach into his brain hole?
Yes.
And exhibit some warm, soothing heat waves.
Okay.
So that he can calm himself a little bit and focus on the task at hand. And then I will reach my hand back out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And so you begin to do that. I'm gonna
A spell token, I don't know.
yeah, let's use a spell token. And he gets up and he begins to like, I'm going to resolve that chaos token immediately as this warmth and this calm has overtaken him, and he starts like gently patting people on the shoulder. Excuse me, please, do you mind not dancing? I would very much like for Tilly to be the best dancer here, and I don't know whether or not. Oh, okay. Well, sir, please, do you mind not dancing? Okay.
Virgil, darling, I think your abilities would be better spent. You study Tilly. I know that you do.
Of
So
course.
the thing to do now would be to go get your band. They'll lead your band
Oh.
into some interesting music. Follow only Tilly's movements so that everyone else is thrown off the rhythm. I believe that's what your aunt was trying to
Interesting music. Oh, I think I've been working crawling in my skin. What do you think of that? She'd probably like that, right?
I immediately take my lanyard and I take it off my neck and I begin to hold it like a conductor's wand. And I'm going to use the last two of my minutia to then like conduct him to play like good music.
Incredible. Yeah, you guide him to his band to he's like, and 1, 2, 3. What kind of music is good music?
For this moment, it is the best song that time has told. The defect song that history and all of existence will forever know as the best piece of music writing that's ever existed.
Mhm.
They begin playing Smash Mouth All Star, and
yeah, absolutely. He takes the microphone and he. Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Everyone stops and looks.
It's incredible. Through the work of your magic, his voice becomes this soothing lullaby where once there was nothing but yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, Lisa. I won't make you pay royalties.
She's gonna get striked now.
Yeah, this lull falls over the ball, and the dinosaurs, exhausted, collapse in a heap. Tilly stands at the bottom of the band as he concludes his song, and just uproarious clapping.
May I expend the very last my 3 points of minutia?
Mm-hmm.
And in this moment, everyone's lost in the music. I would like to lose myself in the strings of time and reality for a moment and make sure that we are on the right path and to always look ahead about 5 minutes so that in these critical moments
Mm.
I am aware that we are leading us to fixing this particular string.
Yeah, absolutely. You ease into an epilogue as every few minutes you correct Virgil on something that he was about to say, but wasn't going to hit right. You peer into the void of this nebulous future of this ever shifting timeline, and you correct the way that he picks up a fork, or remind him of Tilly's favorite color or favorite flower, perhaps coax him into telling her that he ordered those flowers for her, or you go ahead and unroll that glittering red carpet that they walk down, claw in ungloved claw, to their first dance as a couple. You three ensure that this timeline locks back in smoothly. Peace and order are restored. And when you return to your sanctum, that Loom of Destiny is still broken, but that's for another day, isn't it? There we go. You did it. You saved the timeline.
We did it!
Yay, you
Yes!
I
saved
think
our
technically
marriage.
Smash Mouth saved the timeline.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
but you enabled Smash Mouth to be.
It's true.
What an incredible journey that we all went on. And let's go ahead and let's do some outros, or unless Lisa had any announcements. I don't remember the order we were supposed to do
I
this in,
I
because
do
I'm
have some
terrible.
announcements.
Thank
Hello,
you.
everybody. This is Lisa, voice of God, and also designer of Mundane Magic. First, I just want to say thank you all so much for making time to play this game. It was a wonderful, bizarre, windy path that ended in the dinosaur dance battle. So you know what? I'm okay with it. Thank you everyone in chat who came and joined me in watching this wonderful group. If you were enjoying the actual play mini-series and one-shots that I am producing here on the Lisa Penrose Twitch, March 12th, we are starting our next story in the Clueniverse following the Cluet sisters. That is a 10 Candles mini-series called Requiem for a Cluet, so mark your calendars, look out for more news on that. And then just the last thing I wanted to mention is that if you're looking for some more D&D or Valentine's Day actual play action, Dustin, my husband, and I will be playing a D&D duet on this channel. We're probably going to give ourselves a little bit of time, so like maybe like 1:30ish. So in another half hour or so, we'll come back and roll some dice. But again, thank you, Josephine, Jess, Masood, and TK so much for GMing. I'll let you all dive into some outros.
Oh, let's go ahead and do some outros. We're going to go in opposite order. So, Jess?
I'm Jess Ross. You can find me online on Twitter at WriteJessR, or on my website, writejess.com, WRITEJSS. I am a writer and editor, and I podcast with the D20 Dames, which is a family-friendly D&D podcast. We're starting season 4 pretty soon, so a bunch of our previous season recap episodes are up now. So if you want to dive into season 4, you just have to listen to the 3 recap episodes, and then you're ready to go. You can find all of that on d20dames.com.
Love it. Josephine?
Hi, I'm Josephine McAdam. I'm actor and gamer and You can find me at JCVIM. You can also watch some of my films on Shudder. There's a couple horror anthologies on there, as well as other films that exist. You can check IMDb. But also right now, I produce them in a dark sci-fi tabletop RPG show called Eclipse that uses the Mothership system. And that is every Friday at 7 p.m. We only have 2 episodes left to our second season, but there are only 6 episodes per season. And we do have a season 1 recap as well, so you could also jump in. We've got live scoring that happens as we play. It's a marvelous space adventure.
Love it. Masood?
Hey guys, I'm Masood. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Marudboy, MAHRUDBOI. Like I said, I'm an actor, I'm a comedian, writer, TTRPG enthusiast. I do stuff with Roll20. We just wrapped up our season of Mythic Odysseys of Theros with the Indoor Recess crew. You can go catch all of that on their YouTube. You can also catch the Bollock Bion series I did with Stir Friday Night, where I was the GM and played a cyberpunk setting that was inspired by Filipino folklore and mysticism, was a blast. I do stuff with Rivals of Waterdeep, and we'll be back next week. I stream Sunday through Thursday. You can find more on my Twitter.
Nice. And it's me, it's TK. I write spooky stories on the internet. If you like spooky stories, you can read them at my website, tkjwrites.com, or you can follow me on Twitter, TK Joins the Fray. I am also a member of the disastrously unfunny Indoor Recess crew, as well as a member of the Cluniverse. So you know where to find those things, because both of the people who are here already told you about them. Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's all for me. I can't tell you anything that I'm working on right now. So that's it.